Aquarius. Hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to be here with you always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy whenever you find this reading. For the next week or so via the tarot, astrology, any channeled messages that come through. And we'll incorporate some Ayurvedic or holistic wellness practices that really help enliven, support our optimal functioning, optimal potential. All right, let's get into it. I hope that you are doing well this Cancer season. I do use, as a side note, I do use the current astrology, but know that these readings are timeless. Even if the astrology doesn't resonate with you, take what messages do and leave the rest behind. So we're currently in Cancer season. We're also coming up on a lot of the outer planets going into retrograde. Mercury and Pluto are currently in retrograde. Neptune's going to go into retrograde this week, and we're also going to have Saturn go into retrograde at the end of the month. So retrograde energy really helps us slow down. It helps us reevaluate, realign, specifically with the energies that are coming out of that transit. And with Neptune in retrograde, also being in Cancer, water season, it can make things overwhelming, especially as it relates to our emotions, our intuition, the things that we are picking up. What I do love about the energy as I'm recording is that we're gaining in a little bit more stability as it relates to our mental awareness. So even though things might be provoking our emotional, we're able to overcome. We're able to kind of rationalize, deduce our way through things so it doesn't hit that point of complete spiral or whatever, making a situation way messier than what it needs to be. And if anything, I feel like where we are being challenged is in places that we already are kind of anticipating or expecting to some capacity. The downside of Cancer season is it does remind us of what we love and what we're attached to and why we're attached to those things. And sometimes it can make it hard to let go of the ideal, the fantasy of what we had hoped or wished something would be. But acknowledging, understanding the reality around situations, why things are working out in a certain way, or not even why, but just accepting that change is upon us and there are certain things that are definitely transitioning. And it's not a bad thing, right? That's where that surrender component comes into play, which isn't always easy. It's not easy to say, I acknowledge that this thing is happening and now I'm going to let go. Yes, control the way I show up, the way I engage with this dynamic, but also release how things are working out as we move forward. That can be a little bit scary. I mean, I think we often think that we have more control, right, than what we actually do. But even just in that process of releasing, of letting go, it actually helps align us with the desires of our heart, our manifestations, what we're trying to call in that much more. That's also why I like to start the readings off with an energy cleansing, just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out some places that we might feel blocked or limited. It's also a great time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something that you do want spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, Aquarius. Be open to receive. It really is a great way to personalize these collective readings. And if this is not your vibe, you can totally skip ahead and still receive the blessing, the good vibes always. I also offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you're interested in more of that realignment of self, your mind, your body, your soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. Because when we're aligned in self, when we have that strong foundation, when we feel grounded and stable, that's really where we're tapping into our happiness, our fulfillment, our abundance. And I would totally love to help support that for you in whatever way possible, Aquarius. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being, so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Mama Love. Amen. All right, Aquarius. So I hear that you're ready to make some decisions that you feel really strong and confident in. I feel like there's a little bit of hesitancy or not really knowing how certain things are going to be received by certain people. This feels like people that you're trying to connect with or that you're trying to invite into whatever this idea, goal, plan of action that you have playing out. But you feel ready, like you're like whatever feelings of deservedness, worthiness, like the things that have kind of been trying to get you to stop, to slow down, to not do certain things, second guess yourself, etc. It feels like you've gotten those all out of the way and you're ready. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe you're trying to regrow, rebuild something with someone with this knot in your overarching energy. The knot does signify repair, and specifically around things that have been broken in the past. We have the opportunity to do this specifically right now because Mercury's in retrograde. Anytime we have, like I said, planets in retrograde, it does kind of help us go back to the drawing board to really reevaluate certain things that have happened in life and say, is this actually where I want to be at? Or do I need to go back and readdress something before I move forward? It looks like you were trying to take a different path, a different avenue, but it feels like that hasn't really worked for some reason. Maybe you listened to some bad advice, or I don't know, it just feels like the mode as to what you went about something wasn't really the best. Maybe at the time that you made the decision, it seemed like that was what you needed to do. But at the same time, it feels like it's been a little bit counterintuitive to whatever you're trying to grow and build. And it feels like you're still working things out. Like it feels like whatever I don't see you repairing something, but I see you making choices and I see you really trying to figure something out and make something happen. And there's been delays, there's been obstacles. And so you've gone back to the drawing board and seeing where there have been holes or cracks in certain aspects that you're dealing with. And it does look like you're trying to repair. But again, it kind of looks like, and I'm sorry to say this, Aquarius, but it looks like maybe the manner as to which things are playing out might feel a little counterintuitive to what you're actually trying to do. With the snake and the moth. The moth is representative of our shadow self, or the way that we transform through the shadow work, the shadow lessons. Meaning, shadow work meaning the places of our deficits, the places that we have some karma, maybe not the most shining, stellar parts of our personality or character. But I'm also seeing that like the reason this is happening is because someone or something is feeding into this for you. And like I said, it feels like you're getting bad information. Okay, so 8 of Swords. You're getting bad information because someone else is looking at a dynamic or situation through a limited lens. And it doesn't look like you vibe in the same way. Like if anything, 3 of Cups, it's about harmony, it's about community, it's about celebration, it's about coming together and working together. The 3 of Cups is such a really nice energy. And this might be with someone or something that you've had some difficulties with in the past. Maybe, I'm going to clarify this, but maybe this is part of where that limitation is coming into play. You've moved on from something, but someone else hasn't. Interesting. Let's look and see what this is. Yeah, 100%. Especially with someone in this 6 of Swords as their blocked energy. And it looks to me like they are trying to project that stuff onto you, or their own fears and anxieties. They want you to feel the same fears and anxieties as well. And maybe some of the stuff that they're worried about is true, is valid, it's legit. But at the same time, this feels like an anchor. This feels like a dead weight. The 8 of Cups just popped up as I was shuffling. 8 of Cups is all about letting go of toxicity, walking away from the things that no longer serve us. Whatever you're dealing with wants there to be more time to pass before any decisions are made. And you're at a place where you're ready to make decisions. So someone's wanting you to wait, like it feels like this is dead weight or just slowing you down. And I'm not saying it in this way, you have to cut it off and be over and done with it. I don't necessarily see it as that. But I see that what you want versus how it's playing out is disconnected, because you're showing up as 3 of Cups, but then you have the 9 of Wands in your blocked energy. So there might be this ideal of community and support and how you're connecting with other people, but at the same time, it's showing that you're on the defensive as well. Like you're still in a little bit of protection mode. And it feels like that protection mode is directly because of what someone or something is saying to you. It could be a female. It doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be someone who's, you trust their judgment. The snake is feminine energy. It's very intuitive. As I'm talking about this, I'm reminded of how Neptune's going into retrograde. And so it's forcing us to decipher between reality and illusion. And I feel like that's where you're at. Like, it looks to me, Aquarius, like you can't be as reliant on someone, something else right now, especially because of how they're showing up. It's very much like a stuck energy. Like, I can't overcome, I can't get past this thing. I don't really want to, or let's just wait. Let's see how things go before we make any big decisions. And you're already at the point where you're like, I'm ready. I'm ready to make this. Or as you move on, it feels like you're having to hold off because of something else. But I think that the more that you kind of push for this thing to happen, it looks like someone wants to be the information that informs how you choose, the decisions that you make. It looks like you're not really doing that. You are, but you aren't. Or you're not really abiding by what they want you to do. And the more that you kind of push for whatever this is, it feels like they have to reveal something to you. It feels like they have to reveal something to you about the dynamic that is putting a new spin onto things. With this moon, it's making you feel pretty emotional. It's also where this moth shadow self is popping up again for you. Trusting in someone or something, what they said. Maybe even kind of making choices in a situation that felt a little bit accelerated, aggressive, making a decision in a dynamic that maybe you wouldn't have normally, right? It was just the way that you understood the energy to be moving, what the trend, what was happening, what was actually kind of like, and it looks like whomever, whatever this is, also fed into that. And it looks like they're trying to continue to feed into that. But at the same time, you feel a lot more confident in what you think. Like you're not necessarily doing something that someone else wants you to do. If anything, it feels like you're working at it from a different angle because the information that you have gotten is faulty. There's that 8 of Cups for us. You're tired of doing it someone else's way because it looks like in doing so, you're not really getting the results that what you had thought or anticipated. And it ends up bringing up more stress, more anxiety. When I was first pulling this, it feels like a karmic cycle. It feels like something that you keep being looped back into that I think you are ready to get out of. I feel like you have outgrown this to some capacity. And now it's like this final tier is maybe recognizing that certain things can't be salvaged, that they can't be repaired, or you don't necessarily have to listen to someone else's advice when it comes to repairing something, that maybe actually like your choices, your discernment in the matter is like more than good. It's exactly what you need to be doing. And it feels like as you do that, as you trust in self that much more, someone is being forced to admit some things that you're not aware of. I don't feel like you're aware of. And I'm not trying to say this to promote paranoia or fear. I don't even see your energy in that way. I think when you learn something about a dynamic, it is going to make you feel emotional around it because this is something that someone hid from you in order to get certain results, in order to, I feel like you chose something for someone else essentially. And then as you're seeing that choice that you made, it doesn't really align with what you thought, what you felt anyway to begin with. And so it does feel a little bit defeating. But this is where we have to stop shortchanging ourselves for other people. Love your true self. It's okay to have different opinions. It's okay to do things with your life that are within your own discretion. We don't always have to trust everyone else. Like I said, yes, you can listen to opinions, but at the end of the day, you make the choices on what you do want to do with yourself. So you're having a new perspective, you're having a new reality, and that reality is helping you overcome some of this limitation. It's actually helping you move beyond. And even though there are some things that are playing out, like I feel like someone's going to get called out, I feel like they're going to be honest about it because they care about the dynamic with you. They don't necessarily want to lose that. And with them coming clean about something, it's in efforts to show like, hey, I'm trying to do this right. But it's also going to show you exactly what something was, and in a way where you might have fallen into a trap, or places where the shadow self, like where you trusted something that really wasn't trustworthy, or you didn't do your own research, your own due diligence. And it does look like this awareness is really going to inform how you move forward, not only in this dynamic, but in whatever this dynamic is that you want to see some salvation, some repair around. But it is requiring you to love self, to put yourself first, put yourself first, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own opinions about what your life should be and what you should choose. I do think there is some inspiration. This makes a lot of sense, like inspiring yourself. There is some inspiration that needs to happen because on some level, maybe this was a very comfortable thing to fall back on. And now that things are being highlighted, or as they are being highlighted, I think it's giving you freedom to make new decisions, but that might also be not the easiest thing to do, right? We can see injustice, we can call it out, we can feel disappointed, victimized, whatever it may be, right? But then at the end of the day, it's within our power to like do what we have to do about it. You know, we can't just be like, oh, that person did that to me and they should fix it or whatever, right? It's like, it feels like a period. Oh, they did that to me, period. As if that finishes the statement. And it's not specifically about it. Yeah, they could have done that and it could have been really shitty, but also there's choices that go hand in hand with that. And I feel like that might be the part of it it's not even a humbling, because I feel like it very much is someone else's responsibility. Yes, there are things that you could have done. It just didn't work out that way. Not good, bad, right, or wrong. But now that you know, then you actually have to do it does become your responsibility, is what I should say. Childlike play. Capricorn got this energy as well. So not being so serious. I think a lot of times when we are working with the shadow energy, shadow self, because there can be a lot of guilt, a lot of shame intertwined with it, or like we go into like adult mode, you know, it's hard to find time to just play or just to be self. And I think when we let go of the pressure, of the oppression, the limitation, the restriction, when we do tap into this childlike play, it does help relieve some of the burden. It helps us deal with these aspects of ourselves, the deficits, the places that we do feel shame or guilt around, that much easier. And yes, this is a path to walk. It's a path to walk that's going to be highlighting some things that you want change. Like you're already saying to me, your energy is already saying like, I want change yesterday. And I feel like that's where the unveiling of some of the information is going to feel like, I want change like a few weeks ago, right? But you still kind of have to walk the path and walk the steps. It looks like you're seeing what you can salvage from this, what is still available. But as you do, it is going to bring up some other stuff that really is going to put you in a position to say like, okay, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is this actually feeding me in the way that I need? Or is this something that's like run its course? I think that's going to be a hard decision to make, especially with the shadow self, because it does feel like you're putting certain amount of blame, responsibility on yourself, or it's highlighting things that you don't like about an individual, about a situation that you know you should do something about, but maybe you don't really want to. Maybe you don't want to upset the apple cart. That's where this inspiration comes into play for you this week, Aquarius. Again, it might not be the easiest. It might not be the easiest thing to say like, okay, now that I have this information, now that I have this reality check, I think a lot of it is also because someone's still trying to inform the decision that you make. And you're open, you're willing, you're flexible. And it, like I said, it looks like as this evolves, you're getting more information on the tail end that's really pushing you into a space where you know you have to do something about it. Like maybe in the beginning of the week, it's like, meh, I don't really have to. But then by the end of the week, it's like, okay, something really needs to be done about this. And you'll figure it out, right? This is just for this week. I'll be back next week. We'll check in and see how things go. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always, Aquarius. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. Know that it blesses my heart so very much. And I'm sending that love and blessings back to you. Have a fabulous day. Talk to you soon.